First off, I just wanted to say that the Hulk is really an iconic figure, sort of a phoenix rising from the ashes sort of story. And let me explain what I mean by that, because it's really an incredible story that we have here. One I believe we could build a society on and perhaps use to better understand human nature. So, we first start off with Bruce Banner. Bruce is a bit of an enigma. He has a genius level intellect. He really is quite brilliant. But he's also battling demons. Now, I'm not talking about real life demons, but the demons of his very real human nature. And I think we can all sort of identify with Bruce here, because none of us are purely rational. Our intellect is a part of us, yes, but our brute animal nature is also a large part of who we are. Some might argue that our more primitive nature far outweighs our civilized side. Bruce is a tragic figure, really. He grew up in an abusive environment. While his mother was very affectionate with him, his father was very jealous of Bruce. One night, Bruce's father, Brian, went over the edge and began to hit Bruce. When his mother intervened, Brian killed her in a fit of rage. Because of this trauma, Bruce was forever scarred. Bruce withdrew within himself, and it's possible that he developed split personality disorder. In order to cope, Bruce began to build very real psychic walls. He wanted to keep everyone else out, and he also wanted to keep his rage in check. Now, we can see the contrast between our violent tendencies and the better angels of our nature, but we'll come back to that. Now, the gamma ray blast that transformed Bruce into the Incredible Hulk is really a story about the dying and resurrecting god, which is a very old idea. It really resembles the story of the Phoenix, which I insinuated earlier, but here's why. The Phoenix burns itself up and then restores itself to its early form. This is a very old story, one humanity likes to tell itself over and over again throughout our history. The Hulk is just one such story, but I think the Hulk is also a story about letting go of your darker side, and allowing it to run rampant from time to time. The gamma bomb that burned Bruce up was just the catalyst, but not the underlying cause. I think from a purely psychological viewpoint, we all grapple with our darker natures. This is why some of us play violent video games, or drink, or play aggressive sports. These things are all outlets for our rage and anger, our pent-up aggression, if you will. Sometimes when the pain is too much, you have to let part of you die and be reborn, before the healing can take place, and this is really the strength of the Incredible Hulk saga. Now, I'm an agnostic about whether or not the Incredible Hulk actually existed, but I think it's an incredibly valuable idea, and a story that we need to understand if we're going to understand human nature. There's this idea that we need to have faith in the Hulk, but I think symbolically, what this means is that we need to learn how to grapple with our intellect and our baser instincts. This isn't always an easy process, of course. Bruce is more of a symbol of the intellect, our human frailty, and really civilization or culture, which tries to place rules and restrictions on human beings. The Hulk is a symbol of our baser nature, our unthinking rage, our inability to think through every problem clearly. He's our primordial selves, the one we ultimately have to face and sometimes separate from our more cultured, civilized facade that we show the world. There are just layers of depth to this story which are sufficiently profound because of the hyperlinking of the texts with almost the entire corpus of Western literature. You can find this type of story everywhere, and The Incredible Hulk is just one of the newer incarnations of that deeper story. I don't know what to make of the more metaphysical claims. I don't know if the Hulk had something to do with Bruce's true soul, or if it was just some smaller part of the whole that was given life. And I also don't think we fully understand consciousness, and this throws the whole thing into doubt. But I do want to point out that Bruce was also changed while altruistically trying to save his best friend. I think this symbolizes a triumph of sorts. Bruce's better angels overcame his more primitive instinct for self-preservation, and I think this adds to the story a whole new level of complexity, one that can't easily be dismissed. In my Maps of Hulkism series, I hope to expand on these ideas in greater depth, but I think it's suffice to say that the Incredible Hulk saga is a story about humanity and our struggle to come to grips with and master our more bestial natures.